Are the Boston Celtics bringing back Robert Williams? That's what we're talking about here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Why? Because ESPN analyst Brian Windhorst said that he's very tradable. Currently playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, as you guys know, which traded away last offseason, broke our hearts. But we got Jrue Holiday out of the trade. So overall, I think it worked out for the Celtics. But you do still have that, man, I feel bad for Robert Williams. I wish he got a ring with us this last year. We loved him when he played in Boston. He was our Time Lord, but then he got traded away. Can Brad Stevens, the master of all masters, we know he's just absolutely brilliant when it comes to making trades, can he bring back the Time Lord? Well, we're going to talk about that here. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and if you guys want the Time Lord to return to Boston, it's super easy. All you have to do is hit that like button. If this video gets over 600 likes, I'm going to know how you guys really feel about Robert Williams. Keep in mind, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out the first couple of months in the NBA season. It could be beneficial to have a big center like that. But there's a lot of things that go into whether or not Robert Williams can even come back to the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we've got a really expensive payroll. Williams dealt with a lot of injuries while he was in Boston, didn't even play this last season with the Blazers because he's still injured and he's still really young. So there's a lot of factors that go into this, but here is why Brian Windhorst said that he is actually very tradable from the Portland Trail Blazers. Windhorst went to go on and say, I would say Robert Williams from Portland. Any team looking for a center, Boston Celtics, is going to watch Williams closely this year. And I think the Knicks will be among the teams monitoring him. So as the season goes along, how that center position goes is going to be a big topic from week to week. Not the Knicks. Please, dear God, not the New York Knicks. When he was traded away to a team that had no sort of rivalry to us, the Portland Trail Blazers, it still hurt. If he goes to New York, I'm gonna frickin' lose it. The last thing I want to do is play Robert Williams 4 times a year, if he's healthy, against our biggest rival in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks. Also, knowing how close Robert Williams still is with the Celtics players, it's just weird. I get it, Donovan Mitchell, he's good friends with Jason Tatum too. He plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, so that's going to happen in the league. It is what it is. But he also even posted on his Instagram story when Jaylen Brown was cooking in the NBA playoffs. Same with Tatum. He's always been the biggest fan of the Boston Celtics every time they got an extension, including Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Williams still keeps in touch. And I'm sure he wouldn't want to play against the Celtics in New York, especially once you're in Boston, you play for Boston. How do you do that? How do you go put on a Knicks jersey? It doesn't make sense to me. So we're going to talk about a potential trade to get him not on the Knicks, but on the Celtics. It may not work out. I'm going to give you a heads up. We know the Celtics roster is unlike any other in the NBA, but it's something I at least want to try because it's Robert Williams. But before I hop into that, I want to make sure you guys can try and test your skills on Prize Picks, our sponsor here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Let me tell you, I play Prize Picks constantly. I love it. I never really liked to put money down on games until I found something like Prize Picks that really made it interesting, even for the games I wasn't necessarily interested in. When I have something to look forward to, it made it a lot better. And what's great right now is that it's really easy to play. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you guys can watch the winnings roll in. Not to mention, it's the #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million actors, including my active members, including myself, Joey Peterson, who's on the 1s and 2s here today, and the fact that they're pretty much giving you a free win every single week in September is why you guys should be playing it right now. It doesn't just have to be for one sport either. You can add numerous sports in your Prize Picks picks for that upcoming week. I have 3 different sports right here, including Tuesday's projection, which is Taco Tuesday. They always have a projection on a player's stats, so I love cooking things up on Tuesday. And on Friday, it's Flex Friday. Win or get your money back. But every single week in September, they've got a promotion on Caleb Williams. He has 1 passing yard, you win. Come on, man. They're pretty much giving it to you. Why would you not play at this point? Honestly. Especially when you can play in most states in America, including Georgia, Texas. So go on ahead, download the Prize Picks app today, and you're going to use code CLTS CLNS, and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. I gotta stress this a little bit more. Anybody but the Knicks. And we know they've made big moves in the offseason, and I would not be surprised if Tom Thibodeau went out there and tried to get somebody like Robert Williams. They've already got a pretty injured team when it comes in the paint with Julius Randle, and you had Mitchell Robinson missing some games in the playoffs last year, so you need a big down low, especially with Isaiah Hartenstein out of there. But just don't give Robert Williams to the Knicks. That's all you have to do. I know you guys feel the exact same way. You guys hate the Knicks as much as I do. So if you do not want Robert Williams on the New York Knicks in any trade, go on ahead and like this video. I'll talk about the Celtics in a moment, but I got to make sure we're on the same page here. Do not put him in the blue and orange. Hit that thumbs up button for me, because they're just going to be getting a cheat code. Honestly. And I know it's really hard to emphasize how great of a player he can be because of the injuries that he's dealt with since he came into the league. And obviously his stats have taken a hit over the last couple of years because he's only 26 years old. But, the waves, the ups and downs, he was even out when the Celtics played the Warriors in the finals. It just hurts. He's only played 215 games in his career in the NBA. Keep in mind, there's 82 games minimum a season for the NBA player. So he's averaging about 7.5 points, nearly 7 boards, though he's putting them up. He's grabbing them back down, almost 1.5 blocks, got about 7.7 steals per game, shooting 73%. But when he did play with the Boston Celtics 2021 to 2022, which was his last time really playing for the Celtics here, he had 10 points per game, nearly 10 boards, almost averaging a double-double. We remember that. And then having the 2.2 blocks per game. You pair that with Derek White, who's been leading the NBA in blocks for players under 6'4". You even tag on Al Horford in there. Jrue Holiday. That's beautiful. And then nearly 1 steal per game. But this is what really hurts. Williams' games played by year. Started off kind of shaky. 32 games. You're like, you know what? He got injured. He'll get back. Boom, 29 games. Then I think the best year that he did play was obviously the 61 games. Those were that 2021-22 stats I just showed you where he nearly averaged a double-double. But the reason why Brad Stevens kind of had an easier time to say, you know what, thank you for your service. We're going to trade you to the Portland Trailblazers, because he only played 35 games in his last season as a Boston Celtic, played 6 games for Portland, and then he had a season-ending injury. Well, what's unfortunate now is the Boston Celtics center depth chart is taking a hit with injuries already. Kristaps Porzingis not playing until maybe 2025 for the Boston Celtics. Al Horford, 38 years old. And then you got Luke Cornett, Tillman, and Queta, who have plenty of room to still grow and be good centers for the Celtics, but not like Williams. They're not averaging a double-double. They're not. They could, but Robert Williams has already showed Boston why they should want him on the floor when he's healthy. And knowing that Horford can't play back-to-back games, having another asset in there that you know is going to clean the glass, that you know is going to put up points in the post and in the paint. Points in the post and the paint. My goodness, say that 3 times fast. Boston could use a familiar face. Especially since Brad Stevens already re-signed 3 centers when he could have gone out there and said, you want to play for the best team in the NBA? Probably could have gotten another center in free agency. But he trusted Luke Cornett, he trusted Neemias Queta and Xavier Tillman to get the job done to help out while Porzingis is out, because he's just trying to keep the gang together. Why not bring Robert Williams back into that? Well, there's a lot of factors that play into it. It's just not in the cards, honestly. The Celtics had the highest payroll in the NBA. They really can't trade anybody away that would match his $12 million per year. I mean, you could maybe put somebody like Jaden Springer and Jordan Walsh in there, because you can't trade away players you just signed. He just re-signed 4 players in the Celtics roster. And other than that, you're not going to trade away your top 6. None of them. You're not. Not for Robert Williams, knowing the injuries that he has. It sucks because you get attached to these players like Robert Williams, Marcus Smart. They get traded and you're like, man, how can we get him back? Now with the roster we have, how can we put Robert Williams in the mix? but it's just not the year for it. And that's what's unfortunate. We just have to hope and maybe pray to whatever you believe in that we do not see Robert Williams in a New York Knicks jersey. But I have one more question here for you guys. Should Brad Stevens at least try to trade for Robert Williams, knowing that I don't know how they're going to make the financial status work? I don't know how they're going to really get it to work out. But Brad Stevens, he's a lot smarter than any of us. Type Y for yes, type N for no. As always, hit that like button if you like today's video and you love Robert Williams.